And in that safe, the FBI found topless and lewd photographs of girls, correct?
Again, sir, I'll accept your representation. I don't know.
Thank you. It was all over the media at the time. There's a New York Times article that says Jeffrey Epstein is indicted on sex charges as discovery of nude photos is disclosed, dated July 8th, 2019. And the Times reports a trove of lewd photographs of girls was discovered in a safe inside financier Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan mansion. Author Michael Wolff has conducted numerous interviews of Jeffrey Epstein. I'm going to play for you a video clip of what Michael Wolff said Epstein told him was in the safe and what he showed the author was in this safe.
A video clip was played in the courtroom in front of hundreds of people with cameras rolling. Kash Patel had answered hundreds of questions up to that moment. The Epstein files, court rulings, what was published and what wasn't. He seemed prepared for every question. He had studied every topic. But Ted Lieu did something different. He didn't bring any documents. He did not discuss the legal framework. He just pressed a button. In the next 6 minutes, Patel could not provide clear answers to 3 questions. He didn't even know whether the FBI was tracking the 100 hours of Epstein recordings that a reporter had. He indirectly acknowledged the existence of the photos he said were not in the safe at the same time. He did not answer whether the 2 people whose names were directly asked were on the list, saying yes or no. 6 minutes. 3 unanswered questions. They are all on record. This is the story of that moment. Subscribe, because you can follow these types of hearings, the moments that the networks either buried or edited beyond recognition, on this channel. Before we begin, let me briefly explain who Ted Lieu is because you need to know. Lieu is a Democratic representative from California, but this description falls short. Before entering politics, he served as a JAG officer in the United States Air Force, military lawyer, conducted an investigation. He prosecuted the case. If you've worked in the military system, you know, vague answers don't pass there. Either you know it or you don't. There is no middle ground. He's not a politician trying to produce a nice clip for the cameras. A lawyer who conducted an investigation, standing right in front of a man who should know the facts of his own case. When Patel heard Lieu's question, he didn't see a senator in front of him. He saw someone who knew the case file by heart, who understood what evasive answers meant. He realized this difference too late. Lieu started with basic questions. Did the FBI search Jeffrey Epstein's residence in Manhattan in 2019? Patel said yes. Was a safe found in that search? Patel said he did not have a warrant in front of him. Lieu continued. Was a photo collection found inside the safe? Patel gave the same answer. I accept your representative's statement. This statement is for the findings of his own agency. It is based on a Congress member's account to verify a search conducted by its own agency. This was something that the New York Times published as a front-page story on July 8, 2019. The photo archive found in Epstein's Manhattan mansion safe. Public record. A news article that everyone can read. The FBI director didn't know, or he said he didn't know. This tone set the stage for everything. Lieu kept this as a trump card and began to move on to the real trap questions. Michael Wolff is one of Washington's best-known journalists. He is known for Fire and Fury, his account of the early Trump White House. But at the same time, according to his own statement, the journalist who spent the longest time with Jeffrey Epstein before his arrest. According to Wolff's estimate, there are about 100 hours of recorded interviews. He shared some of these recordings with the public. Among these is a recording in which Epstein describes Donald Trump as my closest friend for 10 years. It was published in November 2024. Major news organizations reported on this. These records are not confidential. Their existence is known. The contents are being discussed. And this is the most comprehensive first-hand account of Epstein's world outside of the FBI's own files. Lieu turned to Patel and asked directly, did the FBI seize records of Michael Wolff's conversations with Jeffrey Epstein? Patel didn't know. Did the FBI request to speak with Michael Wolff? He couldn't say whether they did or didn't. He could only say that they didn't do it. He said he would return. The FBI director in the U.S. did not know whether his agency had contacted the journalist who held 100 hours of recordings about Epstein's world. This is not a small gap, not a technical detail. Wolff's records have been debated in the public for years. The question of whether the FBI took steps to access these records is not an unclear question, and the answer was, I don't know. At this point, you need to stop, because I don't know can mean two things. Either they really haven't followed this aspect of the investigation, or they don't want to say that they are following it officially. Both options raise the same question. Lieu used a previous statement from Patel. Before the debate over the 100 hours of recordings, Patel had argued, if there were meaningful material, it would have already been uncovered by numerous investigations and 3 administrations over the past 20 years. There was nothing significant because if there was, it would have come out. And if it didn't come out, then there isn't. Lieu used a single example to prove that this is wrong: Trump's birthday message to Epstein. No one was aware of the existence of this message until the Wall Street Journal published the news. And when it came to light, the FBI had not disclosed this material. Epstein's will had presented this to Congress, not the FBI. You made a valid point there, Patel said. That is a point worth emphasizing. Patel had argued that the 20-year investigation would have already uncovered any material of significance. Lieu gave a documented example that had not been uncovered by the FBI, but rather surfaced through an outside news report. Patel gave the same answer, a fair point. This was conceding the collapse of his own argument. It was done without putting anything else in its place. If you followed along this far, subscribe to not miss moments like these. Details that get lost within the trials are available on this channel. Patel's previous testimony was already on record. Senator Kennedy had asked him directly, did Epstein transfer victims to other people? Patel's answer was clear, no. There is no credible information that Epstein transferred his victims to other people. Never. If I had, I would have filed the lawsuit yesterday. Kennedy applied pressure. So the answer is no one, right? For the information we have, said Patel. Lieu continued right from there. Patel took Kennedy's answer and turned it into a single question. Is your testimony today? In all Epstein cases, did Jeffrey Epstein act alone? Is the list exactly one name, and that name is Jeffrey Epstein? Patel tried to backtrack. He noted that he did not say Epstein acted alone, but he added, 3 administrations have reviewed these files and found no credible leads to investigate other individuals. Lieu's response was ready. Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most well-known victims. She testified under oath. She explained that other people were involved. She documented that this was not a one-man operation. 3 administrations reviewed all these files and found no lead worth pursuing. The FBI director told the Senate this. Does this reassure you or worry you, showing what you think about how reliable institutions still are? From there, they moved on to name questions. Todd Blanche is currently serving as the Deputy Attorney General. He was previously Trump's personal attorney. He flew to Florida and met with Ghislaine Maxwell for 2 full days. Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence as Epstein's accomplice. What she said during that interview was recorded in the courtroom. Maxwell said, the men around Epstein were not people who needed Epstein. They already had access to everything. They were coming for other reasons. And some of these people are currently serving in the cabinet. Blanche's next question was, when was the last time you spent time with Epstein? He didn't ask who they were. Lieu read the quote aloud. Then he turned to Patel. Who are the cabinet members Maxwell is referring to? Patel said the full transcript had been shared with the public. He said Lieu took the pieces out of context. He did not answer the question. Then Lieu moved on to the name questions. Is Prince Andrew on this list? Patel said that materials related to Prince Andrew had been shared with the public. Lieu asked again, is Prince Andrew on the client list? Patel said the FBI published the name directory. He said he would speak for the list itself. Is Donald Trump on Epstein's client list? Patel said the series has been released. He said the series would speak. This is not an answer. It's a way of beating around the bush. What Lieu was asking about was not the index. It was whether there were two names on a list that the FBI director had already confirmed the existence of. A yes or no question, twice. And twice Patel pointed to his knee without answering. If the answer had been no, it was one word. Patel didn't say that word. Lieu told the committee as he closed the session. The FBI director's inability to say whether Donald Trump is on Epstein's client list is a serious red flag. The president cut him off. 3 things stand out from those 5 minutes. Patel said there were no photos of the kind Wolff described. At the same time, he admitted he didn't know about the FBI's birthday message until a news report came out. These are 2 things said by the same man in the same hearing. Patel didn't know whether the journalist who had 100 hours of recordings related to Epstein had contacted the person. 100 hours. Debated in the public. Known for years. And Patel did not say whether there were 2 names on a list whose existence he had already confirmed. He pointed to a directory. Twice. These are not accusations. The answers given under oath by the FBI director. The question Lieu recorded is what these answers say about how thoroughly the Bureau pursued the Epstein case. Patel stands by his answers. And the gap between them is still there. Did you notice Patel's demeanor in that hearing? I accept your representative statement. I don't know. The index will speak for itself. Each answer technically responded to the question, but none of them answered the question. And each left the same gap between what is asked and what is said, between confirming the existence of the director and being ready to say it directly. Lieu, as someone who had served for years in the Air Force, recognized this pattern. He recorded it before leaving the room. The questions are on record. Answers too. The gap too. Subscribe and answer this in the comments. Do Patel's "I don't know" responses stem from genuine ignorance or from information he is avoiding recording? Your answer will show how you view this story.